Welcome to Power Charting. This is episode number 8. This episode was recorded on September 20th of 2018 and was originally aired on September 21st, 2018. And I am Bruce Fraser, and I am with the inestimable Professor Roman Bogomazov. Welcome.
Thank you, Bruce. Happy to be here.
So we have a very exciting show today where we are going to discuss Wyckoffian principles using the stock charts platform. We are going to enter the very interesting world of point and figure. And so this is going to be a fun session for us, and let's get started. So to begin, we have a couple of very exciting things to announce. First of all, we have an October special, and this is going to be point and figure related. And it's about using point and figure analysis for your trading purposes. It's going to discuss horizontal point and figure counting, accumulation, distribution, reaccumulation, redistribution. We're going to focus all of our attention on doing the analysis using the point and figure charts. We're going to explore 3 different time frames, 3 different levels of analysis. We're going to look at long-term campaigning with point and figure charts. We're going to work with swing trading in the second week. And in the third week, we are going down into intraday trading with the notion that we can combine all of these different time frames into an exceptional analysis for any trader in any situation who is using horizontal point and figure counting for their trading purposes. The other thing that we're very excited to announce is that the Wyckoff market discussion, which we hold on Wednesdays from 3 to 4:30 Pacific time, we are doing a special promotion. And this promotion comes along rarely. The normal price for Wyckoff market discussion, where we go into great detail about markets, sectors, industry groups, leading stocks. From time to time, when it's timely, we look at commodities, all from a Wyckoff perspective. And we are doing a special, which is $79 monthly. Normally it's $99 monthly, and this is very occasionally we make this offer, and so we want to extend this also to our power charting people, because we think that this is a great place for us all to work on Wyckoff analysis together in great detail. So, Roman, any thoughts on this?
Well, I just want to add a couple of words about October special. Bruce is a point and figure horizontal, Wyckoff horizontal counts expert. I have never met anybody who is better than him in the nuances and the details of how the horizontal counts should be conducted. And I'm just really excited about the October special. This is part 2. If you would like to go to the basics and intermediate concepts, go to our website, buy part 1, which is on demand right now, and then come to our live sessions. So I can't wait to hear what nuggets Bruce is going to bring to that special. So let's just do this together.
Fun. Well, there's nothing that's more fun than talking about point and figure analysis. And certainly point and figure charts dance in my head all the time. And so it's a good idea occasionally for me to get this stuff out. And also, Professor Roman is also exceptionally good at point and figure analysis. So we're going to have a lot of fun together.
Okay, so we're praising each other, but did you just say that in your head there is a dance, the PNF dance?
The PNF dance in my head.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Yeah. It's a rough thing to live with. But
It's a curse. It's a wonderful curse.
you make it sound like I don't have a life out of point and figure, and that could be pretty close to the truth.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, so for today, we're going to have a blast because we're going to talk about point and figure analysis. And we have a very cool thing that we're going to do. We want to emphasize the tools that are available to us on stockcharts.com. And we have an exceptionally good tool to talk about today. And in the predefined scan area, there is a whole series of point and figure screens that are available to us. And if we go into the predefined scan area, you can see the PNF patterns. And we're going to focus on one today. We'll go through others as we go through in future episodes. But today we're going to look at triple top breakouts from a point and figure perspective. And so let's take a minute and talk about what a triple top breakout is. The thing about point and figure is it's something that can be scanned on very, very effectively on a vertical basis, where the computer can look for breakouts of certain levels. And the thing is about point and figure is the way point and figure is calculated is that it actually produces support and resistance areas in a really well-defined structure, which you can very easily see, and the computer can identify when a resistance area is being breached or a support area is, and then it can report on that for us and create these lists that we're going to look at. So let's talk a minute about the point and figure triple top breakout. So this is in chart school, so please do go back and read this. But the idea of a triple top breakout is that you have two consecutive X columns. Now, X columns are rising. And so you have a series of price increases that produce one X on top of another on top of another. And this becomes a rising column. And so in point and figure, you have periods where no price appreciation is taking place, and this is a consolidation area. And in that consolidation area, you'll have commonly a well-defined breakout level. And so you can see these red lines here that you have two adjacent columns of X's that are turned back down into a column of O's. This becomes a resistance area. And then you have a third column of X's that is able to break out above those two prior columns and produce a breakout. The computer can identify those and create a list for us to look at. And so in this example, and you'll see in the examples we're going to look at in a few minutes, is that these are consolidation areas that once they're broken out, it produces a condition which allows the stock to be able to rise to the next level. And so this is very exciting for us because then we can apply our Wyckoffian principles to these stock ideas, both on a point and figure chart and on a vertical bar chart. Ramon, any additional thoughts?
Just one thought here. I think this is a really good scan for us to identify early breakout out of the consolidation. And as Wyckoffians, this is what we constantly look at. We look for the areas where the price is consolidating, and on the right side of that consolidation, we want to see that sign of strength as a breakout, as a change of character. And this scan is just really good identifying those spots.
And you can see here on these two lower breakout levels, it produces a nice jump, where the third breakout level, you can see actually produces a distribution area. So there's an upthrust that occurs, comes back into the range, and then forms a distribution which leads to a markdown of sorts, not a large one. But this illustrates the need for the Wyckoffian analysis is to be able to go in and identify when we have accumulation, reaccumulation, and then distribution occurring. So let's get to work. So we looked at this screen. So the predefined scan is available on the home page for members. And so just go down, and when you go into the predefined scans, all the point and figure scans are all the way on the bottom. So definitely go in and explore those. We're going to look at a couple of New York stocks and NASDAQ stocks, and we're going to illustrate this concept, and then you can take this and work with it on your own with these scans as you are able to spend time with this. So here we're looking at Ballard Power Systems, and looking at the point figure chart, we can see the condition for a triple top breakout. So there's two pushes up. Now we're looking, just so you know, and go in and look at that point and figure workshop that I do in 2 parts on Stock Charts TV, because it'll teach you and illustrate to you how to do these different point figure chart structures. And so so we will sort of bypass that today, but here we're looking at a 1-box reversal using ATR scaling, so you'll be able to see how to do that. And if you come to our workshop, we will talk a lot about that in the workshop. Here you can see 2 peaks. These 2 peaks are turned back at a level which is $3.80. And so it forms 2 peaks. And then the 3rd peak is the triple top breakout. And you can see how the computer is able to identify that very effectively with a move up to $4. So as soon as Ballard touched $4, you had a breakout, and that allowed the computer to identify the triple top breakout. And so we have put a vertical bar chart above that so that you can see that this is actually a very interesting accumulation structure. So once we see the triple top breakout on the report, we can then go and look at the vertical chart and look at what we have found here. Rahman, why don't you take us through this?
All right. So this is an area of the accumulation that started with the sell-in climax. We have a lot of climactic activity here with the increase in volume, a climactic run to the downside, a change of character which forms the automatic rally, secondary test, a test, and we are concluding the stopping action of the downtrend that we've had. Then we have multiple tests in another segment which we are calling phase B, and then a very interesting price action where the price goes down below the support on the spring and temporarily commits below the support level, but then quickly comes back. And this is a very interesting area. This is the area of the testing where we see that the volume and specifically supply is going down, and we are starting to see higher highs and higher lows in preparation for the next jump. And the next jump, this is where the change of character on the way out happens, and it has been confirmed by the volume signature. So we know that institutions are coming in, they are aggressive here, they want to buy on the way up. The next reaction is the last point of support, which comes to the middle of the range, and that shows a lot of bullishness, and obviously a reversal and the continuation, and the breakout itself confirms this accumulation pattern.
And there's the triple top breakout, and point to the area of the spring on the point figure chart, just so that they can see that down there. And so there's a 2-box breakdown of that support area, which immediately fails to stay down there and then climbs back up into the accumulation area. I love the change of character there at the end. So, and you can see that the character of the rally that occurs over here in August is far different from anything that preceded it in the accumulation area, which is evidence of the stock being in strong hands. So, and then here, Rahman, take us through the point figure count.
Well, this is interesting because we've changed the charts now. We put the P and F on the top and the vertical on the bottom.
You did that just to confuse me, didn't you?
Yes. Well, here's the logic of this whole video. we want you guys to go to the predefined scan. We want you to find good candidates that have a consolidation characteristic. And then we want you, because of that triple top breakout, you will find those type of consolidations. Then we want you to apply Wyckoff logic to your analysis of the vertical chart, and then come back to the PNF chart and identify a count line, what we call a count line. And in the October special, we're going to teach you how to count horizontally the causality of the accumulation, so that we could project it to the effect, to the uptrend effect, and see where our targets are going to be. And in this case, Bruce, how would we do this? How would we, produce this horizontal count?
Well, in horizontal counting, which is so much a part of the Wyckoff methodology, it's so integral to the whole process, is something that's very different from the vertical methods, which the computer uses to identify say the triple top breakout. And so they're both very valuable, but the mustard on the hot dog here for us is the horizontal counting. And you can see here that in this one box reversal method, we have the green shaded area is 18 columns. And so we'll go into great detail on this. And also it's in that case study that I did on Stock Charts TV. The case studies in that workshop is that 18 columns across times the reversal, which is a one box reversal. So 18 times 1 times the box size, which is 20 cents or 0.2. And that gives us the targets. So we add that to that count, the amount of the count to the count line of 340, and it gives us a count of $7. And so we have an objective of 7. Wyckoff always looks for a 3-to-1 reward to risk. And so this is a great way for us to be able to identify objectively the potential in a trade, and then also be able to understand if we set our stops where we're supposed to, that we have a 3-to-1 reward to risk, and the risk is from the entry price down to our stop level. And so we want 3-to-1 or better. And this is an exceptionally powerful tool. Now, does it work all the time? No, it doesn't work all the time. Sometimes it works better than that, sometimes not as well. But when we apply the Wyckoff principles for the chart reading, we can identify stocks that are really set up to be able to have good markups. And also notice this, that Ballard has a distributional structure that sets up prior to the decline into that area that we just analyzed. So this works for accumulation and for distribution. Okay, let's keep going. We have more to do here. And inevitably, we don't leave ourselves enough time. So Boeing is got a terrific triple top breakout here, and you can see that it's buried inside the structure of a very large reaccumulation. So you can see here these lower columns of X's, the lower red line, there's 2 pushes up which find resistance at that 352 level, and then finally there's a resolution of those 2 levels with a triple top breakout, which creates a wall of X's that is now working its way up to the big resistance area in this very large structure. And so, and there's a second, at the higher red line, there's also a second breakout level. And so the 2 breakout levels have been taken out here, which looks very compelling for Boeing. And so, Roman, take us through the vertical chart.
Well, the prior uptrend shows a lot of leadership. Then we have an area of the stop in action. Then we have the area of the second segment where we have a testing. Please note that the volume is still very high. There is a lot of exchange, institutional exchange of shares because of the volume size. And then look at the next segment where the volume signature is just so low. So that just tells us that whatever supply was available has been observed. And look how after the absorption we have in higher lows, and slightly higher highs here and there. And we're going into the apex or a hinge from which we expect the price not only to break out, but actually to start accelerating again.
So we're very excited for the notion of Boeing being in the completion area of a reaccumulation, which sets up the condition for another important rally phase or trend phase for Boeing, which we would love to participate in as swing traders. So this goes to the idea of swing trading and potentially campaign trading. So notice how we've shaded across the horizontal area that we have a green area, a blue area, and then a copper colored or brown area. So the green area represents a swing trading count for Wyckoffians that are interested in doing swing trading. Then there's a larger count to the blue, the green and the blue area together. And then ultimately the campaign count, which goes all the way across, which produces a very, very large reaccumulation count. And this is all because of the time that Boeing has spent basically in a trendless trading range for a very long period of time. And so we're going to focus today primarily on the swing trading count because we want to illustrate the concepts here of the notion of the breakout, but then also combine it with horizontal counting. So in this particular case, we have 9 columns across that we take from the area where the breakout, the column of X's up is our breakout level. So we start with the column to the immediate left of that and start our counting across. And we have 9 columns, and we have $2 box size. Well, it's actually $4 box size, and a 3-box reversal. So, and that gives us a count of, I think it was, so that's all right, 9, 3, and then 4, 108. So we have a count of 108 that we then add to the count line. So that takes us to 448. So our math is correct. And so just the swing trading, this is what's so exciting about this, just the swing trading potential of this large reaccumulation structure counts up 108 points and takes us to 448. So there's a huge potential, fuel in the tank for higher prices. And we are still in the area of the large reaccumulation area and have not jumped out of that yet. So there's tremendous potential even as we approach now to the top of the range. The whole notion of how to enter into this trade is a discussion for another day, but we want to illustrate the potential for horizontal counting here and how we can break it up into different parts based on what our individual interests and objectives are as the Wyckoffian trading community. It works for Wyckoffians in all the different time frames. Ramon?
I think the key for us here is obviously there are so many details as we go through this swing trading count, the campaign count, and just I would just say come to our October special, and we are gonna go in through the details of how we do this. Actually, one of the cool things that I think that we're gonna do is we're gonna put a chart like this, which is gonna be a blank P&F chart, and Bruce and I are gonna go from step number 1 to the last step and to identify the count line, to identify all of the segments, and then to look at the projections. So I'm looking forward to that.
And we're going to do intraday point figure too in the 3rd session. Okay, so Ametek. So here's a triple top breakout. You can see here that there's really 2 levels that are of interest to us. There's a large reaccumulation area that goes from 2018 back to 2014. And so you can see that there's a very large area where we call this reaccumulation because it came out of a prior uptrend. And then this big catapult wall, look at just the marching up into this new reaccumulation area that we're analyzing now, with a triple top breakout. And so here you can see that there's two triple top breakouts that have been identified here, two red lines, and is telling us that not only is this appear to be a reaccumulation, but it's completed because now it's resolved itself out of this trading range. And so it's jumped up and out. So let's take a minute or two. We have a little bit of time left. Ramon, walk us through this vertical count.
Well, I like the catapult. Yeah, I like the catapult here on the PNF. So that just tells us that the uptrend was persistent. It was a leadership uptrend. And then we have supply coming in. And there is some selling here, but look relative to the whole upswing that we have had, where we ended up on that change of character, on that first initial selling. It's in the upper part of that upswing. So that shows right away, even in the first segment in phase A, that there is some strength, that big institutions are not necessarily parting with their huge positions. And there is some maybe institutional rotation from one hand to another. Then in the second segment, which is phase B, we're seeing a lot of the supply. Some of you Wyckoffans might be thinking that this could be also phase C, which is totally fine. This is the lowest point, and phase B is going to be the largest phase, so that's also acceptable. This is just a little nuance for those of you who are listening to our sessions a lot, and you guys know about this. And then look at the next segment. This is where we are having higher highs, higher lows, and this is on the background of the diminishing volume signature and diminishing supply signature. And we're having pretty good rallies, and they are starting to show an ability to come to the resistance level. And then one of my favorite patterns that I talk a lot about is this horizontal reaction close to the resistance. It just shows us inability of the price to go down. And then obviously the breakout confirms the whole pattern.
Yeah, it's a really great chart. And so now we have a 2-point figure counts. We don't have a lot of time here, but we have 2-point figure counts and a base count accumulation area, 21 columns. This is 3-box reversal. So we go, and then the scaling is 1-point scaling. So it's 3-box times 21 times 1. And so this gives us a count line of $44. We would add that. In this case, we're adding it to the count line, and it takes us up to 107. And so so actually it's 21 times 3, so the 63 plus 44, that's the count line, sorry. And that takes us up to a count of 107. And now, so that's the lower count. Now the higher count is a reaccumulation count. And so we have 10 columns times 3 times 1. So it's 30 plus 71 takes us to 101. And so now the reaccumulation count, the higher one, matches the lower one, which we would call a stepping stone reaccumulation count. And so when they match, this is great confirmation that we have the potential to run up to the higher numbers. So Ramon, with that, we are coming to the end of our session. Again, we invite you to come to our October special, where we're going to discuss in great detail how to campaign with point figure counts and also the WMD promotion. Ramon, thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
We'll see you next time.